Okay.
Oh man, look at all these little Rizzlers. How are you doing, my fellow Riz Squad?
Okay.
Oh, baby. That's a bit of a jump scare, isn't it? Welcome, you little little rascals. How are you doing today? Oh, I can also do this, but I think I have to switch scenes for this, because I haven't set it up with this one. I can do this, like, hey, now you're over here, and now you're, like, here, which I think is really fun. And now you're here, you know? And I was, like, way over here. Ha! And I was here again. Okay, I need to set that up for, like, this one. With the chat visible. That's pretty funny. I like doing that. I got an entire new camera just so I could do that, because I had a leftover webcam I used to do that with, but the color correction was awful, so it always looked like ass. Hi Click, had a funny dream about you today, D emoji. We decided to go to an art gallery to learn how to paint ? We just painted in there for a while until you decided you want to steal the paintings. Honestly, Valid on my part. I would encourage myself doing that. Hell yes. My cat is really excited. That is so cute. Hell yeah. Hello, colleague. What chaos are you unleashing today? I figured we would read some Am I the Butthole stories. I might skip over a couple, because I think a couple of them I have read in a video I'm going to release in a couple of days, which is a r/oh no consequences, because that one has a lot of reposts from other subreddits, and it's, like, oh my god, I burned my kids' possessions, and now they don't want to talk to me. How could this... Am I the butthole? How could this happen? It's like, wow, that sounds like the consequence of your action. Today, it's not so much consequence. It's just general butthole vibes. And I scrolled some of the stories, and they seem very juicy. And I'm here for the drama. For me, as I have gotten older in life, I remember when I was young, back in ye olden times, and I had this period when I was, like, in my 20s or something, and I was like, man, I'm so above drama. I don't do drama. Drama is for immature people. And as I got older and had a more refined taste for life, I came to realize there is a distinction. I very much don't like drama in my own life. It's disgusting and difficult and exhausting, and I tend to not spend that much time with people who cause said drama. But reading about other people's drama is very entertaining. Okay, it's very entertaining. It's like watching gladiator games. Maybe I wouldn't want to be a gladiator myself, but sometimes it's fun to just watch people tear each other's insides out, Is that a good comparison? Maybe that made it worse. So anyway, this is like that. This is like 2025 gladiator games. These people go to these online forums, and they're like, oh my god, he microwaved my cat, and the other one is like, oh my god, but you stole my butt. And then we just watch them go at it, and we're like, ho, we get to judge who the shitty one is, and sometimes it's both. So that's very fun to me. I feel like I'm some kind of emperor figure, but, I'm sitting at home drinking like a protein shake instead, in the comfort of my own home, and I don't have to deal with the blood splatter or whatever. It's quite nice. Give us a shout out. We're at a sleepover. We're named Casey and Maddie. Casey and Maddie, I hope you enjoy your sleepover. I need to have a sleepover soon with my buddies. Maybe I'll have that in the near future, because I have a friend of mine who's like on parental leave, or he's gonna go on parental leave pretty soon. And then it's like, oh, you're flexible. Let's have a bros game night, and we can just have the baby sleeping, in the next room or whatever. So we take care of the baby, and then we play video games. And then back to taking care of the baby. And, we just do that for a weekend. We're going to be the best power couple. Magnolia, thank you so much for the $2, you beautiful bean. Hey, colleague, have you ever thought of starting a Minecraft series? Not really, but we have a Minecraft server on the Discord. Join the Discord, baby. Hell yeah. Magnolia, thank you so much for the 2. Oh yeah, I watched the Minecraft movie yesterday. Chicken Jockey. Honestly, unironically, I sort of enjoy the Minecraft movie. It's, like, very fun. In a silly way, and like that, they have a lot of nice references, like little like the little Technoblade reference, and that's kind of it's cute, Ashley, thank you so much for the 5. I kind of liked it. Du reicht's gut heute? Oh, danke vielmal. Oh yeah. Or as the Americans invented for the Germans, Dankeschön. The Germans didn't invent thank you. That was the Americans. If you don't get that reference, watch the latest video. Hell yes. Colleague, I found women shorts with good pockets. That's amazing. Honestly, there are some gym pants with pretty good pockets for, like, phones and stuff. That's pretty pjoggers. I mean, I'm a painter, so I think this might have been encouraged by that lol. Oh, hell yeah, that is so good. Papa Click, tending to his clicklings. Oh, if I didn't already name my audience, they would totally be clicklings. That's adorable. Hell yeah. Yeah, Dankeschön, Americans, for that word. I couldn't say thanks without y'all. It's because Germans are so ungrateful. Did you even say thank you? So, and they didn't say thank you because they had no word for it. So, there you go. Click, hello from Denmark. Ew. I'm kidding. Welcome in. I do hope you enjoy your stay. the Nordic countries is a kind of like, sibling love. Sibling love. It's a name in Swedish. It's called I almost said chicken love. Now I'm brain rotted. Syskonkärlek. It's a thing, sibling love. When it's like, you would totally take a bullet for them, but you also kind of argue a lot, and they stole your GameCube that one time, so fuck them, but you would take a bullet for them, that kind of love? This anyway. Alex, thank you so much for being a lasso. Sobs in American. We have the best tears. The greatest tears. Our people cry the best tears. There are so many tears, and we have tariffs on the tears. Yeah, it's not a real language. I love his hate of the Danish. It's so funny. Do you remember that sign we had in the video that was like, everyone is welcome here. All races, all sexes, all genders, all orientations, except the Danish. It's like, oh, fuck. It's like, damn. That's very good. Not the Trump voice again. I know how to traumatize chat. It's that kind of relationship. Oil, thank you so much. And I remember you for changing your name. That's beautiful. Merch idea, skirts with good pockets. Oh, hell yeah. Or you can get one of those, like, kilt bags. That's pretty good. Hur mår du, Klick? Hälsningar från Finland. I was so tempted to do a kalsarikanne today, but instead I decided to stream. So there's that. I was at the gym today, and then I was carrying around trees. Because a lot of trees fell down last week because of the storm. So, gym and trees. So now I'm drinking a lot of protein. Because that's some sweet gains, baby. Hell yes. Click especially traumatizes those of us in the US with that Trump voice. Yeah, sometimes I like to pretend it isn't real. It's like a reality show, And it's just very silly. It's very silly. Do you smell like pine? Right now I probably smell like... No, I showered afterwards. So I probably don't smell like pine. I probably smell like a mix of... I don't know, deodorant and a light sweat stench because I was sitting in studio lights for a couple hours when I was recording. So, yeah, I'm probably kind of musky. Deary, thank you so much for sending a membership. Hell yeah. Orange man shouldn't be real president. Greatest president of the great... Okay, let's get into the stories, okay? We're all gonna go insane. Like, hell. God. Let's see. So right now, I'm just sorting by top of the day, and I figured we can read a few of those, and then we switch to top of the month, and then we switch to controversial of the month. I think that's a pretty good, descending. It's a madness. Stop with the Trump! I'm practicing. I'm gonna try to replace Trump. That'll work. Not really in the same country or whatever, but, who needs deep fakes when you can make an impression? Yeah? Controversial! Woo! Alright, let's get into it, baby. Does the scene work? Oh my god, it works. Man, this is great. The greatest stream. Thank you so much for the 5 memberships, Pirto. I really appreciate it. You're a beautiful bean. Click for president. President of the internet. I think it's one kind of those, voluntary positions you get because no one else wants it. Anyway, I thought this one sounded kind of interesting, Am I the butt for pulling my daughter from soccer camp and telling her that she can't see her ghetto friends anymore? So they're calling it soccer, which means that this is definitely in the US. The title sounds very, kind of bad, but it's marked as not the butthole and has a lot of upvotes. I'm gonna assume the friends are really bad news. All right, so I'm intrigued to get into this. I love stories that have that kind of plot twist where the title is either super reasonable or unhinged, and the voting is the exact opposite. Pre-racist. Woo! They sound like one already. I am the ghetto. Click, what would your slogan be? I need to draw this now. Skibbity. No, fuck no. Something cute. There you go. I can do a good SpongeBob impression and Peacock. I can't do a good SpongeBob impression because we only had him in Swedish. So, yeah. The brain rot got him. I am like, my job is to be chronically online. Of course it got me. Sassy Milassie, thank you so much for 21 months, you beautiful bean. Close to 2 years, that's amazing. Okay, this is great. I mean, yeah, the wording in the title is sussy, but let's get into it, shall we? Maybe it's a good protective parent who's not letting their kids get into shady things like eating dirt. Throwaway account. My daughter is in soccer camp twice a week since the beginning of the summer. She is 15. She made 2 new friends and I do not like them. They have been over my house once and they were rude, loud, and obnoxious. I mean, that's just teenagers, though. I mean, unless they're, like, making a mess or breaking things, I think that's sort of expected. Toss them outside, let them play in the woods, like we did when I was a wee lad. We had, like, wooden swords and shit. We were noisy as fuck, man. But we also did it outside a lot, I guess. Normal kid stuff, yeah, I would expect 15-year-olds to be kind of loud, I'm gonna be honest. They made a mess of the house, gave me attitude when I asked them to quiet down. One rolled their eyes and started arguing with me. I mean, that's also teenager stuff, but... one point in the parent corner, though, I would expect guests to sort of, like, adhere to house rules, you know? If someone was making a ruckus in my house that was a guest, and I told them, like, hey, can you be a bit quieter? And they were like, no. I would be like, all right, then you can leave. So, you know, on one hand, so far it's basic teenager stuff. On the other hand, respect the one who manages the household, you know? This, like, it's like when you're driving, you know, respect the driver or whatever. They were blasting music, and money went missing. I had $40 on the counter, and it disappeared. All right, so they're little, like, kleptos. Okay, that I can totally see you not wanting them in your house if stuff is disappearing. Like, that's... Now you're just stealing. Now you're just stealing from the house. I wouldn't invite someone back if stuff started disappearing when they were there. Man. I had a friend steal my bathroom key once. Why? That sounds insane. Haha, I'm stealing this key, so next time I'm over, only I can use the key? What? Maybe don't leave $40 in the counter? Or maybe you should be able to, like, I don't know, leave your own belongings in places in your own house without worrying about them being stolen. That's more reasonable in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't really keep money around. But that's also because I live in Sweden, and we have, like, literally no fucking cash anymore. But, you know, that sounds like victim blamey. I'm gonna be honest. Like, sure, you know, if you're having guests over, I would put some stuff away, but also, like, I wouldn't expect guests to steal shit from me. It's like, it's your fault, you left it on the desk. So thank you for the 5 memberships, Ethan, hell yeah. And thank you for the 2. We need more strategy. My neighbor's named Barlos. Is that like a... I can't tell if it's a tragedy or if it's like a different language. I don't know. That's always a concern with those videos. Thank you so much for the 2. I don't leave money around because I don't have any. Ayo. I can see rolling your eyes at your own parents, but your friends' parents, even as a teenager, I'll always be nice to friends' parents and vice versa. Yeah, right? Like, when I was a teenager and was visiting friends, my friends were always way more rude to their parents than I was. I was like, I'm a guest here, I'm gonna be a quiet little bean. And my friends were like, shut up, mom! You know? Did I miss anything? Also happy to be there for 4A. Not so much yet, it's the first story. Super victim blamey. Yeah, indeed. So I am not the biggest fan of them. I mean, the thing with, like, victim blamey stuff that I think is important to, like, you know, distinguish is that tips about, for example, you know, how to be, what do you even call it? Preemptive or preventative? I think that is good. That's like, you know, oh, if you're having guests with kids over, don't leave sensitive stuff around because they can knock it down or play with it or, you know, mess stuff up. Like, that's fine. That's just, like, smart stuff. Saying that, oh my god, you deserve to have stuff stolen because things were out in your own house? Nah, bruh. So I am not the biggest fan of them, and after that, I didn't allow them to hang out at our home. My daughter was not a fan of this, but I still saw them at soccer camp. Yeah, if someone was stealing from me when I invited them to my place, they would be out so fast. Gave my son sprinkles for his adoption anniversary. Hell yes. Kim, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships. Kat, thank you so much for the 5. Speaking of tragedies, Phoenix. If you see it, Phoenix. Oh no! Oh no. Nah. But yeah, these friends seem like bad influence. Like, what, your daughter's friends are gonna encourage your daughter to steal from you? I wouldn't want those people around. I'm gonna be honest. They suck, man. That sounds like they suck. Pleasure to catch you live. Thank you so much for the 5. The next plushie coming out is the Gaycation Emotional Support Demon. It should actually come out on the 18th. It's like in 10 days. It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun. The soccer camp is next to a plaza, and they allow the kids to get food from the fast food places. I got a call from the coach that my daughter and her 2 friends caused issues at an Arby's. She recorded it on her phone. I guess the person from the store, right? Or did the daughter record it? I guess we'll see. Her 2 friends were heckling the fast food worker and left after causing a mess, dumped their drinks all over the ground, and flipped off the worker. This isn't like normal teenager stuff. These are just menaces. These are just little wannabe menaces. That's like messing with fast food workers, stealing things from your friends' parents. Like this isn't like rascal teenager stuff. Like rascal teenager stuff is like, ooh, you stole half a light beer and pretended that you were drunk, or you stayed up too late playing video games but you lied about when you went to bed, or shit like that. This is just being a menace, okay? Oh no, they're TikTok pranksters. My daughter was recording this and laughing along. To be honest, I found it disgusting. Yeah, I think one very good experience for people in general. And I find it odd that not everyone has been there, because I feel like, at least in my surrounding, we were all teenagers at one point, working like, as a waiter, or working, at a little store or something like that. I think my first job I ever had, I worked in a small electronics shop when I was like 15, right? As like afternoons and like a summer gig, just like save up money for like video games or whatever. So like you learn very early that you don't want to deal with shitty people in your shop, or when you're serving people, or working fast food, or whatever it might be. I find it so odd. I just always assume that the people that act like this are super spoiled and never held down just like a basic summer job when they were teens. I don't know, man. I've never been a teen-only old lady vibes here. I'm so old, I was never young. Booyah. I got both my cake plushies and pins. So happy with them, they are adorable. Now to decide which one of my 10 ESD mango will keep me company in the car during my move. Hell yeah, that is beautiful. Hell yeah, I'm so happy they arrived in one piece. That is awesome. Can you say trans right, please? I'm dysphoric right now. Trans rights. Thank you for the 2. I hope you enjoy the stream. I love my plushies. I love them too. I informed her that she is being pulled out of soccer camp because she can't behave by herself, and that she won't be seeing those friends anymore. Honestly, sounds reasonable. Like, this is just a time bomb for getting into actual legal trouble. Like, so far, they have only messed with, a parent of a friend, and, like, some fast food workers that didn't want to deal with their stuff and were just minding their shift, or whatever. What happens when they do this? To someone who is not going to put up with it? What happens then? Like, I would also pull my kids out of that kind of stuff. And also because it teaches the kid to be just a massive piece of poo-poo. It's not great, man. She was very unhappy and started an argument. She told me that I don't like them because they are ghetto, and I told them she is correct. They are too ghetto, too loud, too rude, too disrespectful. I'm not allowing her near them. I'm not so sure about, like, the term ghetto in, like, American context or whatever, but you can just call them, like, pieces of trash. That's fine. I don't know, man. I'm not sure about this, like, word in American context, nor do I really care to, but, nah. She hasn't talked to me since. I shared this with my sister, and she basically told me I forgot my roots and to let her see my friends. What were your roots? To harass fast food workers with TikTok pranks and steal shit from your friends' parents. What are those your roots? Those roots suck. Maybe those roots should be forgotten. What do you mean? Got my ESD cake too, and my 7-year-old immediately stole it. Hell yes, it should be. John, thank you so much for 20 memberships. That's way too generous. Thank you so much. Keegan, thank you so much for being a lasso. Edit, for more context, I grew up in a horrible neighborhood, and yeah, that type of behavior was common where I grew up. Yes, I do find that behavior ghetto as hell. Also, I am black, my daughter is mixed, I still think it's super ghetto. So it sounds like they actually have, like, I don't know, the thing in America culture, at least, that I have learned is about, you know, who can claim a word or whatever. That seems to be, it's a bit of an alien concept, but, you know, I suppose it makes sense. And in this context, it sounds like they can, like, claim the word or whatever to anyone who thinks their title is insensitive. So, yeah, makes sense, I guess. Michael, thank you so much for sending a membership, you beautiful bean. Hey, Click, started learning Swedish because of your vids. I'm sorry to hear that. No, that's really fun. I hope you're having fun with it. Hell yeah, languages are fun. I.e., she knows what she's talking about and wants to prevent her from going through it too. Not the asshole. Yeah, exactly. It's like the mom grew up in a bad environment. The daughter has friends that is pulling her in the environment the mom escaped from. Yeah, that's just basic parenting, honestly. Hell yeah. Ghetto means act like thugs. Thuggy criminal, thus drugs. Otherwise, like people acting trashy, often paired with white trash, is often referred to few hourises? Making a community of crime. Yeah, it's just like bad places, bad neighborhoods. Thank you so much, War, for the 10 Swedish kronor. You're doing what is called parenting. Yeah, this is a pretty clear cut, not the butthole. Honestly, the friends are absolute garbage. And also, like, when you're 15, like, here's the thing. We all make stupid mistakes when we're teenagers, right? But it's also like, I don't know. That doesn't mean you just excuse anything. You're 15. Like, you know, you can certainly be misguided, but you're old enough to realize that when you're doing something just to, like, hurt someone, for example, or doing bad stuff. Like, you know when you're doing something bad. Unless you're misguided vastly, you know, if it's like, oh, I didn't realize I was insensitive, for example, it's like, fine, that's pretty passable mistake. But, I don't know, going around TikTok harassing fast food workers and stealing stuff from your friends' parents, nah, man, they're just stinky. Hey, Click, thanks for another example of such a great silly person from Sweden. Hell yeah, thank you so much. Been watching you since high school. Thank you for being a comfort. Oh, that's so sweet. I hope you enjoy the stream. While learning Swedish, I am struggling with pronouncing kött and kyckling. Swedish is notorious for the love of sh and sh sound. So yeah, that is like one of the most difficult parts with pronouncing it. Kött, kyckling. Oh, sh. It's like, imagine you're hushing someone. Shh. That's pretty good. Kött, kyckling. That's actually pretty much the same sound. So try doing a hushing sound with it. Forgot your roots? Nah, the mom remembers her roots, and that's why she's making sure her daughter doesn't end up back there. Exactly. It's not like the mom is being disrespectful and be like, oh, look at these uncultured savages, these peasants, oh, disgusting. It's like she knows what she's talking about. She was there, in the gutters, and she knows exactly where that road leads down. And she's just telling her daughter, nah, bad idea, been there, done that. You know? Being a menace is not a prank. Yeah, it's just harassy as hell. Oh, shut! No. Clicky, the gaycation ESD comes out of my birthday. Perhaps it's a sign for me to buy the entire stock. Yes, it is. Unless I buy it first. Ah, yes, indeed. Ooh, here's an ad. Good for r/AmITheA. Let's see. Ooh, this is like couples drama. Hell yeah, this is good stuff. This is stuff we relate to, baby. Oh, petty relationship shit. Am I the butt for telling my girlfriend I don't want to go to the grocery store after work? This is like decent chunk of upvotes, decent chunk of comments. It's not a super big deal. The relaterar. I work 12-hour shifts, whereas my girlfriend works 8-hour max and oftentimes 4, depending on if she gets flexed or not. At least once a week, she asks me to stop by the store on my way home and grab kombucha. Only she drinks, or other random stuff like beer, Diet Coke, or snacks. Alright, so it's not like mandatory things, it's more like, nice to have things. Usually she went grocery shopping that same day and says she forgot an item or so. Considering I leave before her and get home after her with only a few hours at the end of my day to rest, I finally started telling her no, and I am made to be the bad guy. I mean, I suppose it also depends how far away the grocery store is or whatever. I think me and my partner both pick up stuff when we're just like on the way. For example, I often pick up lunch at like the grocery store. They have a good salad bar when I've been at the gym. And then I just text her and be like, do you need anything from store? You know, like a milk or juice you want for breakfast, or like not like doing big shoppings, but like small stuff. And she does the same when she's like heading home from work. She's like, oh, I'm going to pick up some drinks in the store. Do you want something? So I don't know, man. It feels like a very... it's one of those small things that I feel often gets blown out of proportion in relationship context. Like, I understand the frustration with like 12-hour shift, don't want to do it. I also understand her frustration when it's like, I always do the grocery shopping, I only ask you to pick up one thing. So, I don't know. If I was the girl, I would probably just let my partner rest. If I was the boy, I would probably do it sometimes, but certainly not always. So, meh. But 12 hours is a lot, man. Especially if she's not working that much. Like, that is, yeah. Yeah. Not the but yet, but come on. Don't become the guy who won't contribute anything to the household beyond a paycheck. I understand you're tired after work, but part of being an adult member of a household is that sometimes when you're the one who's out and your partner realizes, oh shoot, we're out of this, you stop at the store and grab it. I mean, yeah, that's what we do, but we also don't have 12-hour shifts, you know? So it's like, I don't know, man. The CB, thank you so much for sending a membership. Out-of-pocket comment. Yeah, sometimes I feel like Reddit is kind of like disconnected from reality. Like, I don't know, man. I think the only time in my life when I worked this long hours was in the very beginning of my YouTube career, which was obviously mainly from home, when I was doing all my editing and stuff by myself. That was like 12-hour days. Or it was when I was having my sabbatical year between high school and uni, and I was working full-time pretty far away from where I lived, and I also took evening courses in math and stuff to bump my grades to get into uni. So then I had like days where I got up at like 6 or 7 in the morning to get to work, and then the classes at night ended at like 9. It was actually more. It was probably 14-hour days. It was kind of insane. But like, I wouldn't be super excited about someone telling me like at that hour, like, hey, can you grab this and this on the store? It's like, I'm dead. I need to go home and sleep. So, meh. I don't know, man. And it also doesn't say that he never does shopping, you know? It's just during the days with his long shifts. He doesn't actually say that he never helps with shopping during the weekend or like other errands, you know? It's just specifically after a long shift he doesn't want to go grocery shopping because maybe the store is far away, or maybe it's like just meh. My boyfriend works 12-hour night shift at a factory. He's currently asleep on the bed. Oh, I'll give him a little head pat. I'm guessing she also makes the meals if getting one thing is too much. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's also not a lot of context in a story like this. It's a very generic frustration. It gives the vibes that he's quantifying the relationship and holding his hours over her head. I mean, you can make that argument both ways, to be honest. You know? It's like, oh, he's quantifying it with the hours, but wouldn't she be quantifying it that she did a bit more shopping instead of hours? You know, it's like, isn't everyone quantifying stuff at the end of the day? You know? I think a friend of mine told me something very smart about that kind of stuff. You know, everything in a relationship doesn't have to be 50-50, because that's exhausting, and who cares? But it needs to feel fair for both people. It needs to feel fair. Like, if one person works more, maybe the other person does a bit more of the planning or something like that. If one person is more, I don't know, they enjoy doing things around the house, maybe the other person does a bit of the grocery shopping, or, you know, whatever it is, right? It's supposed to feel fair. And sometimes you do all the things of one thing. For example, if one of the partners think it's super gross to like rinse the sink, and it takes them 2 hours because they're constantly almost throwing up, then maybe it's better for the other person to just be like, all right, I'll just do this in 5 minutes, like whatever. You know, that practical aspect to relationship is very important. instead of making it super idealistic. Arion, thank you so much for being a royal lasso, you beautiful bean. Hey, click, birthday in 3 days, and this has been the best year of my life. Could I get a happy birthday? Happy birthday, Fennec. That sounds amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Hell yeah. I hope next year it's just as good. Senpi, thank you so much for being a lasso, and Dark Fox, thank you for 20. I want to get the vacation ESD, but have a very religious parents. Anyone have any ideas on how to explain away the horns? That it's a little creature. It doesn't really have demon colors. Just, that it's like a little sheep or something. A weird colored sheep. My brother will not stop saying bread in Swedish after he started Swedish on Duolingo. Bröd. Bröd. Their party hats? Yeah, 2 of them. Hell yeah. It's a deer. Horns maybe? Yeah, it's like a deer or a little sheep or something like that. Cow. Yeah, it can be a little mumu. Or a goat. Yeah, something like that. A dragon. Oh, a dragon is a good idea. It looks kind of... It's a baby dragon. It's a baby summer dragon. That's good. Weird collared sheep. Have you never played Minecraft? Except it sounds like she wants the soda snack for herself, not necessities for the household. Yeah, I think it's also like... When I read into this, I think it's also more of a gesture kind of thing. It's like, you know... which I sort of get, but, you know, not when your partner has 12-hour shifts. Feels like a lot of info is left out. Yeah. You made a comment about how she cooks dinner for you and all that. So, I mean, if you're gone for 12 hours a day, who keeps the house clean? Makes the general food, keeps everything up and running in general, because not you. She also works. I know it's only 40 hours. Often times 4, depending on if she gets flexed or not. I mean, at least when I had flex hours, it was like hours you worked more other days that you could end other days early with. So it's still 40 hours total a week. Unless it means something else elsewhere. I don't know. My Danish brain, thinks that's stupid to be an only thing, people. But I mean, she's also working. Beside that, she's also grocery shopping, cleaning, cooking, and whatever. She's probably nearing the 12-hour day limit that you have too, but at home. Is there a grocery store on the way home? Yeah, it's a lot of context, right? For real, equally, prepping a good meal for 2 can easily take an hour or more, depending. If you're basing a relationship on raw time or financial contributions, you're halfway fucked already. Yeah, I think it's all that. I mean, some of it is also just effort, to be honest. You know, there is good ways and there's bad ways to do it, but when it starts becoming like a bitterness competition, then you need to sit down and have a conversation about it. Like, if he was going to the store and she just asked for a few items, yeah, get those items. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you're passing by anyway, just go for it. But if it's really out of the way, and it's just like something non-essential like a snack, and, you know, he's coming home 9 in the evening after a 12-hour shift, I don't know, man. There's a lot of context to this. I think it's better to just sit down and have a conversation with your partner about it, to be fair. Because it sounds like a very small issue that is just creating frictions because it's been going on for quite a while. I agree there's information, like the conversation. Yeah, basically. Let's see. I'm going to sort by top of the month, because I think that the top of the day are going to run out. Am I a butthole for enforcing basic boundaries on my daughter's sleepover? Is this going to be unhinged as well, where it's like, the teenagers were being teenagers, but then they also summoned the demon, and they sacrificed our neighbor's kids in a blood pool? It's great. It definitely depends on the relationship dynamic. Yeah, for sure. It's like there's always so much context to this kind of stuff, you know? Like, no one knows everything that goes on in a relationship from the outside. And outside of, like, specific things, that makes it kind of hard to make a black and white judgment call on it, you know? Okay, but summoning the demon is a very teenager activity. It is. I, 42M, have 2 kids living with me. My daughter, Anya, 17F, and my stepson, Noah, 14M. Noah's mom passed a few years ago, and I have had full custody since. He's had a rough go of it, but he's a good kid with his quirks. He's not antisocial or shy, but he does not appreciate having his space invaded, and when very upset, he can kind of shut down. I mean, that sounds reasonable. I need my me time sometimes as well. That's just recharging your battery. Anya is much more outgoing and has a lot of friends. She's asked to have a sleepover this weekend with 4 of them. I said, yes, of course, but given that the friends who were coming were pretty loud and have a tendency to crowd Noah, I told her to make sure they don't go into her brother's room. That seems like a pretty basic boundary, like don't harass the sibling who is not having the sleepover when they want to just chill and sleep and stuff. Dricka lite mjölk? Sorry if I used the wrong word. Hey, that's good. It's milk. Hell yeah. Also, to keep things down after 11, so that the house can sleep. I mean, all of this is very reasonable. You know, that's perfectly makes sense. Maz, thank you so much for being a member. In my opinion, these are not strict rules. No, they're like super basic stuff. Like, don't basically bully your siblings with your sleepover friends. Don't make a ruckus at midnight. You know, like, that's pretty basic. And to be fair, it doesn't even say that they have to go to bed at 11. They are allowed to stay up later if they want. They just have to be a bit quieter. So this isn't strict at all. This is just like, keep in mind that you're not the only ones in the house, kind of like, damn. Okay. To my surprise, I came upstairs to check on them about 10. They are 17. I didn't think I needed to check on them every hour or something. And they were in Noah's room. And they looked like they had been there for a while. 2 were literally sitting on his bed, with him there. One of them was flipping through his sketchbook, another one was messing with his other stuff, and they were all kind of giggling in this weird way. Nah. This is just you drew this? That's just bully vibes, man, come on. Noah was clearly upset. He didn't say anything or move, but there were tears in his eyes, and he didn't respond when I tried to talk to him. I told the girls to get out then, and that I was calling every single one of their parents. Anya was pretty upset with me, but I told her I gave them 2 rules and they failed spectacularly. I did actually call all their parents and sent them home as soon as possible. Anya blew up, saying I embarrassed her. I told her to go to a room and that we would speak on this in the morning. I spent about 20 minutes with Noah before he decided he wanted to cool down on his own, and I went back to my daughter, who chose not to speak to me. It's late, both my kids are hopefully asleep, and I'm left not knowing if I handled this right. No, it sounds like you handled it right. They were the one who broke a very basic rule, and it's also for the sake of your son. This isn't like an arbitrary rule they broke and were punished for it, and they don't agree with the rule or whatever, which I would still argue, rule breaking or whatever, depending on what it is. But this is also on the detriment of someone else. The rule is there in place because they're not supposed to mess with the other siblings in the house when they're having sleepovers if the other siblings don't want to. So, like, this is just the sister and her friends basically bullying her baby brother, and then they get upset when they don't get to continue their sleepover. Like, bruh. That is, nah. I will ground her. She doesn't care to have embarrassed Noah, but she sure cares she shouldn't get her way. What was she expecting if she broke the rules? She's pushing boundaries like my 4-year-old nephew does. Kids have these sort of like phases of pushing boundaries, but this seems a bit old for that. They had 2 rules. Yeah, it's like, don't make a mess at midnight. Don't harass your brother. Bruh. Yeah, nah, not the asshole. That sounds insufferable. I would hate to be the brother. Oh my god. Ooh, this one sounds spicy. Everyone sucks. Man, I love those kind of stories. Hell yeah. Are you drinking water or olive oil? Only the finest olive oil. Pure gains. Am I the butt for telling my friend she is in the same league as men she calls ugly? Everyone sucks. This is promising. This is going to be so much fun. Hell yeah. Downloaded dating apps like Tinder and Hinge. Yes! Oh, it's dating app drama. Oh, it's so good. It's always so petty. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so good. Europe doesn't have water. That is correct. My friend, 19F, downloaded dating apps like Tinder and Hinge for the first time about a week ago. For reference, she's the type that always says she wants a boyfriend, wants to do couple things, feels lonely single, etc. She's also, in my opinion at least, a very normal and average looks-wise. Not ugly, not super hot, just alright. Okay, I mean that's fine, I suppose. Since then, she's been complaining to me that almost all the men there are ugly, short, etc., and that she doesn't match with anybody hot. You know what I think about dating apps, why I think they suck so much? The first thing is that the demographic is like absolutely skewed. That's one thing. There's always like way more dudes on dating apps, it seems. So like the demographic, if you're talking about like heterosexual dating, is always like a little bit funky. The second thing, I don't know about all y'all, but whenever I have gone like crazy about someone, it's always someone I meet in person, and the chemistry is just like kazam. You know? I have never gotten a kazam through a Tinder profile. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And I think also that a lot of people are perhaps not that... Like, you can acknowledge that someone is good looking on a picture, but I think it's hard to get, like, truly interested unless you meet them. At least I have always felt that way. You know, there's a difference between, like, this person is good looking objectively. You know, I can say that about people I'm not interested in dating as well, you know, of course. But I think there's a vast difference between just, like, I don't know, seeing a picture of someone who's objectively good looking versus being like, I am genuinely interested in this person. Like, that is not the same thing. And I think dating apps are very good at messing that up. Aesthetic versus actual attraction? Yep. OP sounds like a butthole for how they're describing their friend. Their friend height-shaming is also the butthole move. I mean, they all just kind of sound like toxic teenagers, to be fair, you know. I asked to see which people she was calling ugly, and so she showed me her likes, and it mostly showed people perfectly in her league, as in moderately attractive guys. I told her that these guys were all in her league and she should give some of them a chance, since she always complains about wanting to be in a relationship. I mean, you don't have to give a chance to someone you're not interested in. But I don't know, also like not being hyper picky about like checklist shit when you're dating is also healthy. I mean, these people are also super young. I don't really expect them to have everything figured out when they're 19, but I remember one thing I realized when I was dating when I was younger was that I had this made-up checklist in my head. It's like, ooh, I want someone who does this, who's good at that, who looks like that. And then when I actually met people I clicked with, pun intended, it was like, man, they have none of this dumb checklist thing. You know, of course it's good to have stuff in common or whatever, you know, similar beliefs or whatever, so you actually get along with the person. But, I don't know. No, overly checklisty stuff like, oh my god, he has to be at least 6 foot, and he has to make at least this much, and like, that's like very stereotypical online-y bullshit, but, you know, being overly picky about checklist stuff is not a happy recipe for dating or relationships. Because it's very skin-deep stuff, it's not what actually makes you happy. Honestly, who answers, I like my partner because they're 6 feet and has nice cheekbones and hair? Like, no, they'll say, I like them because when I'm sick, they always make me soup. Exactly. And I love their ass! Anyway, so she denied that she's the same league as them and said that she's much more attractive than them. I pointed out that in her own words, she doesn't match with any of the guys she does find attractive, so she's not in their league. She said I was a butthole. Emma, you both suck. You both suck. She's like a stereotypical, I don't know, Tinder spam swiper who's also like weirdly picky. And you were just kind of a butthole when you should just shrug it off. I don't know. Everyone is just kind of a toxic teenager, man. Both go outside and touch some grass, yeah. And meet people IRL. Dating apps suck. I'm gonna be honest. I have been on a few dating app dates in my days. The success was not very good. Because whenever I have met someone that I was interested in dating, most of the time it was someone I met in a common setting. I usually say that one of the best correlators in my experience, and also based on people I know IRL, one of the best correlators for like dating success is just like exposure to people. The people I know that were the most successful in dating weren't the people that were the tallest or had the best cheekbones. It was the people who were the most sociable. It were the people who actually went outside and went to events. They had like hobbies. They had house parties. They were also fun to be around, so they were invited to everyone else's parties as well. So they met 10 times as many people as like someone else did. And if you have 10 times as many prospects, that's a pretty thick multiplier when it comes to dating success. And if you go to, for example, a social gathering and there's 10 people there you don't know, you can figure out pretty quickly if there's some kind of potential chemistry with any of them, And if there's not, you go to the next event, That's kind of how it's always worked, at least for me. It's much easier to tell if you have chemistry with someone if you're already in a social context and just chatting around, and then you bump into someone. It's like, oh, conversation is fucking flowing. They're also kind of cute. They look at me a lot. They must think I'm kind of cute, or at least not hideous as well. Man, this is going kind of smooth. And then you just kind of take it from there, and just kind of ooh, that's sort of how it goes, at least in my experience. Swiping to me has always been such a hit or miss, because it's so inefficient, man. Not as easy for the agoraphobics. Clicky, still working on getting out more. I dealt with really bad anxiety on stalkers, fam. I know how you feel, and it sucks ass. It depends a lot from person to person, I suppose. One thing that worked for me was to do cognitive training. And it's basically when you talk to someone about your phobia, and then you figure out essentially what is exposure therapy. So for me, for example, my phobia was sort of two-dimensional. It was a bit tied into my phobia for needles and stuff, because that had turned into a weird social phobia, because I was worried about my phobia being triggered in public because it's cringy and uneasy. And the other aspect, it was a two-dimensional. That was one aspect, being exposed to phobic things in public. And the other thing that made it worse was the setting. Is it someplace I recognize? Is it a friend place? Is it at my own place? When you're at home, that's the least intense thing. But if I'm somewhere where I feel like I'm locked inside of a social context and can't leave on my own accord, then it gets way worse. So I figured out, the dimensions of the phobia, and then I gradually ramped up stuff. So for example, one training I did was that I specifically would look at pictures of needles and drawn blood and shit after I finished up the gym. Because okay, I'm in a public setting. It's not the worst public setting. It's not I'm super nervous and sitting in a job interview or a date or whatever, but it's it's in public. It's not, the safety of my own bedroom. And then I just started scrolling okay, let's just look at fucking needles and blood. And then I gradually ramped up the exposure. At first I would do this at home, and after that I would do it in public settings. I would do it in conversations, gradually. And sometimes the phobia triggers. But then what I realized is that I didn't get fully cured of my phobias, but it disconnected it from the anxiety. And that was pretty cool. When I triggered my phobia on purpose a couple of times, it kind of changed surprisingly quickly in a way from this building anxiety, which is both before and after, and you have this emotional hangover because it sucks so much, to a purely physical reaction. So I remember at one point I triggered this phobia, and I was in public, and I was man, this is just a physical reaction. I know exactly what's going on. I'm just gonna go lay down for a second. I'll be right back. And then I just laid down, did my cold sweat fucking thing for 5 minutes, and then I was okay, now I'm good. It was kind of interesting, because it completely disconnected the phobia and the physical part from the anxiety, and that made it so much more manageable. Please censor job. So yeah, stuff like that definitely limits life in general, but there are ways to make it easier. Like I said, it's not one solution fits everyone. It's good to talk to someone and figure out what exactly is your thing. But yeah, that was one thing that sort of worked for me. Didn't cure it like a magical thing, but it certainly made it easier. And when I managed to kind of break the phobia away from the anxiety, it also got rid of a lot of my social anxiety. Not all of it, but some. That helped me. What helped me was to learn about spooters, rationalize to fear. Yeah, I can imagine that also works. When you rationalize to fear, you kind of ground it in a way. I think that's very good. I do my best to shift my anxiety into excitement, since those feel similar in the body. I still get the panic attack, anxiety attack stuff sometimes, but in a different, more manageable way than before. That's really good. That's like redirecting the energy. But I hope it gets easier. Because, I mean, stuff like, I remember back in the day, like, stuff like dating was the absolute worst thing for phobia. You know, if I scaled stuff, it's like, oh, going outside was like, you know, a 1 out of 10. Typically not very bad. Going to a friend's place was like a 1 or 2 out of 10. Not very anxiety-inducing. Going out for lunch with people you don't know very well. That's like a 4 or 5. You know, you're kind of stuck in a place and it's not very socially acceptable to just leave if you feel like trash, you know. And then like a 9 out of 10 is like, you know, a fucking date. Or, you know, you really want to make a good impression on someone, but you're having a bad day. It's like, fuck. So, yeah, certainly a thing. Am I the butt for pushing my grandpa down the stairs? I, 16, and pushed my grandma down the stairs after he called me short. Based. Imagine a gardener running away from butterflies. Lol, that's me. Hell yeah. Anyway, this story, everyone just kind of sucks. Go out, touch grass, meet people, it's fun. Hell yeah. Or go to therapy, not meant in like a bad way, but like genuinely like sometimes social phobias and stuff can be worked on. It's kind of nice. It's difficult, but it's definitely doable. Am I the butt for refusing to keep paying black tax even though my family's struggling? What is this? What? I'm a 28-year-old African woman working in a decent job as a teacher. I'm not rich, but doing okay. Ever since I started working, I've been expected to help out with my extended family, paying for groceries, covering school. Aha! In our culture, it's seen as a duty, or what people call black tax. Okay, so it's like you're expected to support extended family as a culture. That's basically what it is. I mean, yeah, no, that's not really expected where I come from either. I mean, you support family if something happens. You know, like, oh shit, your grandma has a bad medical bill. Like, of course you chip in. But, you know, it's not like anyone expects me to buy groceries for them. You know, that sounds exhausting. I understand this growing up. I have helped where I could, but lately it's become too much. My siblings now expect me to cover everything, and my mom doesn't say no to them. I'm expected to help with bills, car repairs, and now even a wedding contribution for my younger cousin's wedding. But why is it... Does it ever go the other way around where anyone helps you? Are you just the parent to your entire damn extended family? Have they helped you? Yeah, exactly. What is this? This is just a one-way street. God. I finally said no more. I've started saving for my own life, therapy, travel, and a deposit for my own apartment. I told my family that I'm not a bank, and they need to start standing on their own feet. I told my mom I will only help with the needs, and she cried. My aunt called me whitewashed. So they're basically pulling like a race card. What? You won't let your siblings bleed you dry? Race card. Bruh. Hey, Click, watching you a bit before the ER. Really nervous. Just want to say thank you for being awesome. I hope it goes well. It will go well. Okay, you're gonna do fine. I do hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you hop in later. But I spent years putting their needs first. I missed opportunities, drained my savings, and lived paycheck to paycheck while they bought new phones and clothes. They just sound spoiled. They sound like spoiled people using culture as an excuse to just keep doing it. I still love them. I wouldn't. But I'm tired of carrying everyone. Am I the butt for choosing myself? You know, one thing that I despise, I think that this is sort of how I see this in general, right? If I have a family member, even someone who I'm not expected to support per se, you know, maybe it's someone who's a bit further away in the family, or maybe it's someone older, or someone that usually has their stuff together, or, you know, whatever, right? Someone you're not expected to support, like it's not your literal kid, right? If they have an emergency of some kind, you know, their heckin' house burned down, or a medical emergency or something, of course I chip in. That's what family is kind of for. Like, of course you would support your people in tough times. Or, you know, if they have an emergency and they need a babysitter, you know, it can be simpler stuff too. But one thing I despise is weaponized incompetence. When someone is clearly, like, able enough to take care of themselves, but they are just a spoiled brat. It's like, no, I'm not going to support that. Weaponized incompetence isn't like taking care of a kid, okay? That is just a spoiled brat who never learned or never wanted to put the effort into doing stuff themselves. That's not something I'm particularly fond of. Helping your family is important, but not to that point. Yeah, but there's a difference between helping and weaponized incompetence, you know? And this is that. It sounds like they're just like, oh, I don't have to get a job because my sister will just pay for my groceries. What? Like, bruh, get a job. Financial abuse, it's cruel. It really is. It really is. I will despise your family for you. It's fine. I hate family that does weaponized incompetence and stuff. Ugh. Givers must set boundaries because takers never do. Oof. That's a powerful quote, sis. Hell yeah. I'm a white dude. We don't have black tax. We just call it entitled people. That's what I said. Yeah. It's like, sure, I know different cultures are different and stuff like that. But to me, it's like my priority is, you know, my partner, family emergencies, of course, or, you know, helping out elderlies in the family. Like, you know, if my grandma breaks a hip, of course I'll help her out with heavy stuff or whatever is necessary, right? But if you know, if my fucking brother calls and be like, hey man, I don't feel like working anymore, can you just buy my groceries every day? I'd be like, bro, get your shit together, you're an adult. You know? There's a difference, right? As a white woman from Arkansas, this is just how it is around here. My family did this to my family when I was growing up, but haven't helped me or my sister since our dad passed years ago. It's always a one-way street, isn't it? Click, do you have any tips on general anxiety that feels all-consuming all the time? Been one of the worst years of my life in that regard. Ooh, that's tricky. I guess I felt something similar when I was going through a really bad burnout. But I mean, anxiety like that can be to a bunch of different reasons. I think it's a bit too vague to help in like a YouTube stream. If you have the opportunity, I would talk to someone about it, even if it's not a professional. Talking to someone you trust can help a lot. And also it can help you to realize things about it. Maybe like when it started, what causes it, when you don't feel it, and why that is the case, etc. Anxiety can be a bit tricky to figure out, but it definitely can be done. Especially if it's not something you felt your entire life. It's probably due to something. You know, at least that was the case for me. I had bad anxiety when I had like a little burnout thing going on. And when I allowed myself to drop some stuff and then, you know, get back on track, not expose myself to the things that were giving me more anxiety, then eventually it got better. But it's not like a one-day solution. Erica, thank you so much for sending a membership, you beautiful bean. You ever Google yourself? I think it will be funny. I mean, I have, of course. It's a very fun way to like read whack stuff about yourself, or like weird articles about YouTube celebrities where they speculate about how tall you are and what your net worth is. They're all incredibly whack. I think half of them are like AI generated. And sometimes it's a really good way to find like fan art and stuff. That is really cool. I have a phobia of nuclear war. I think most people aren't a fan of nuclear war. My dad watches Fox News all the time, and the Israel-Iran war was hell for me, having to hear about nukes every day. Your dad sounds exhausting. You know, he's basically doing the equivalent of like doom scrolling, but with Fox News. Man, it's like the boomer doom scrolling. Bruh. Yeah, no, it's good to not expose yourself to stuff too much. Like, stay up to date with what happens in the world, because it's good to be informed about bad things as well. But, you know, one thing I usually say is that it's very good to be informed because it helps you to take educated decisions. It helps you to, you know, see stuff that happens in the world, stay on top of things, etc. Helps you to know what to vote for or whatever. But the world doesn't get better because you sit alone in your bedroom with anxiety. You know? Does that make sense? Anxiety isn't an enabling emotion. Anxiety is debilitating. It's a drain. You know, it drains your energy. You do more for the world by going outside, you know, doing what you can with whatever influence you have, treating people right, and that kind of jazz. Just doom scrolling doesn't help anyone. There is this error of logic, especially in the online world, that I see sometimes, where it's like, it's not explicitly said, but the vibe in a lot of places is like the worse you feel about something, the more morally correct you are. And it's like you're not morally correct for being a doomer. That doesn't help anyone. But if you're not a doomer, then it's like, oh, you don't care, so then you're heartless. But it's like, no, you can care, but like having an all-consuming anxiety about everything all the time just leaves you drained and debilitated. So there is a balance to be had. Stay informed so you can make good decisions and influence the world in what little way you can to make it better. But debilitating yourself just by feeling like shit all the time doesn't help anybody. Samcat, thank you so much for the membership, you beautiful bean. Forest Dweller, thank you so much for the 5. Abby, thank you so much for the 5. And when my mom asked him to stop watching when I was around, then he said, I can watch whatever the frick I want. Your dad sounds kind of exhausting, I'm going to be honest. He sounds kind of sucky. Have you considered doing, like, other things when he's being a piece of poo? Like, seeing a friend, or I don't know if you have a puppy, like take the puppy for a walk and play with a stick. That's a lot of fun. That always clears my head when I'm having like a crappy day. So I think that's probably the best. Sometimes it's actually something my dad told me many years ago. It was in relation to work stuff, I believe, but I suppose it's similar. Sometimes conflicts, you can vote with your feet, which means you just leave. If people aren't willing to change, sometimes you can just walk. Of course, leaving your parents might be difficult depending on your age and stuff, but you don't have to be around specifically when you're watching Fox News, you know? I'm not saying that to, like, defend him or whatever. He sounds exhausting, but, you know, one easy solution might be not just be around. Anxiety is a constant electric shock to the senses. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I also don't want to work anymore. Do you want to do my groceries? We should do a grocery emotional support team. I hope everyone can find a healthy environment. Hell yeah. Noise cancelling headphones helps me drown out. Yeah, oh, that's good. That's good. Hell yeah. Anxiety is actually a special kind of electric shock that can either trigger some electrical imbalances or stop them sometimes. Source, I'm epileptic and constantly anxious. Oh yeah, I have a friend who deals with epilepsy. How do you motivate yourself to post every week? I try posting every day for my YouTube channel so that I let more people hear my story, Sticks and Stones. Please help. Don't put so much pressure on yourself that it becomes boring. Like, sometimes I take more time in between videos on purpose. When, you know, in theory, it's like the more videos you pump out, the more the algorithm would favor you. But sometimes it's not good because you drain yourself and then your content gets bad. So I think it's a lot of focus nowadays on YouTube that you should always pump as much as possible. I've always found it to be a balance. Like, you know, have a consistent schedule, but consistency is key, not spamming. Just watched a whole lot of videos and saw you were live and your voice is really nice. Thank you so very much. Welcome in. I do hope you enjoy your stay. Did Click give an update on the crows in his yard? They were hiding food. I was feeding them a bunch of corn. They got full, so they hid corn all over the yard. But the weather was pretty bad for a couple of days, so then I wasn't outside feeding them. So I'll probably try to feed them tomorrow again. Be good, but don't suffer for it. Hugs are free. Yeah, exactly. It's like, some stuff in life will be difficult, but, you know, if you are interested in making the world a better place, just doom scrolling and being anxious isn't the solution. And that's okay. I want to be friends with crows. Crows are so smart. They're so cute. Let's see. Would I be the button if I gave my daughter an outdated name? There are certainly worse tragedies out there than outdated names. Am I the butthole for telling... I mean, unless you're naming them like a slur or something, I don't know. Am I the butthole for telling my brother-in-law he needs to book a hotel for when he and my sister were staying at my house? I think we read this one. I think we read that one, a very similar one. Not cooking breakfast. I want something more spicy. Should we do controversial? Let's see if we can find another one here. Am I the butt for shutting someone down when they try to talk to me at the gym? Ooh, I was at the gym today. Hell yeah. I didn't talk to anyone. Could you maybe read books on stream? I'm not sure about copyright, honestly. I'm not antisocial, I'm anti-a-hole. I'm tired of people that don't want a genuine conversation. They just want you to agree with them and fall in line. Sounds like you spend a lot of time around people that like having monologues. I don't spend a lot of time around that either. I mean, my job is literally having a monologue, but you know what I mean. This is consensual. People can click out. It's fine. It's fine. If you want to have a monologue, it's supposed to be consensual. Anyway. So for context, I, F32, don't talk to anyone at my gym outside of saying hi and bye to the people who work there, and have polite etiquette when asking someone if they're using something or saying thank you when they're done. Yeah, that's pretty normal. This is partially for efficiency, but mostly because I go to the gym stoned AF and I'm in my zone, and I don't want to talk to anyone. Do people work out high? Do people actually work out high? I mean, to be fair, one time when I beat my bench press personal best was after like a cheese night and a fuckload of beer. And me and my bros were benching because I have a little bench at home. And I actually beat my record that evening. I was drunk and full of cheese. So I can sort of. Please don't operate gym equipment while high, or at least have a spotter. Or do it in one of those machines where you like literally can't hurt yourself, you know. Does that work better? I don't know. Or maybe it's light workouts. Maybe it's like, you know, they go on like the walking machine and they just do it while high and listening to like an audiobook. I don't know. But I certainly wouldn't do like heavy powerlifting when like drunk, unless I have friends spotting me. But it's not like a commonly occurring thing. Last week after my workout, I walked over to the food carts at my gym to pick up tacos. While I was there, some guy, M40+, stopped me and said he went to the same gym. I had never noticed him before, but he insisted on walking with me and was talking to me. I was kind of annoyed. Just because you see me on the street with my headphones out doesn't mean it's an invitation to talk to me. I made small talk and tried to be polite. Get out as quick as I could. So the other day, when I'm at the gym, foam rolling out with my headphones in, this guy is just beelining to me as I'm trying to avoid eye contact and squats down next to me to say hi and give me a fist bump. Ooh, Rizzler. God damn. Yeah. I give him a quick heads up, acknowledge him, but ignore the fist bump. Avoid eye contact for the rest of the time I'm there. This is also something I find fascinating. If someone is actually interested, people always have this intense debates on do you approach people at the gym? No, never approach people at the gym. You should approach people at the gym. Some people are just waiting to be approached. No, people hate this. You can usually tell if someone is interested. Or you can, even easier, you can definitely tell when someone isn't interested. Like this. It's if they're basically ignoring you, not responding to your conversation, putting their headphones back in, they're not interested. If you start up a conversation and then they ooh, they light up and they ask you questions back. Interested. It's man, it's not a black and white thing, but it's pretty easy to know when someone isn't interested, you know? Hints can be sneaky, but non-hints are very loud. And then today, this guy comes into the gym and sees me. I immediately avoid eye contact and it doesn't come up to me, so I think he gets the picture. But then when I'm done with my leg lifts, he comes over and tries to give me a fist bump. Oh, so yeah. Maybe he fist bumps everyone. Does he fist bump everyone? I don't think he fist bumps everyone. So I take out my headphone and say, look man, I don't want to do this. I'm here to work out. I'm not here to make friends. I don't want to talk to you, okay? And he starts to say, I was just saying hi. And I responded with, yeah, I get it. Please don't. I mean, I sometimes make awkward eye contact with people in the gym without really intending to because everyone's just minding their business. And at most, I just do a little nod and they nod back. And there you go. That's it. You know. Oh no, a glance. Yeah, not the glances. I realize anyone who saw this probably thought I was a giant butthole. Nah, I don't think so. But I don't think someone's need for connection overrides my need to have a good workout. So, am I the buttonhole? No. I mean, he was trying to approach you. You said, nah, I'm not into it. And he was like, okay. I don't know, man. He sounds a bit annoying, but it's nothing extreme or over the top. It just sounds like he wasn't really getting the hint. So, meh. It sounds like a nuisance, you know? It's a nuisance, but it's not like anyone here is literally Satan. Update. For people saying this would be different if he was an attractive guy. Okay, I know this is sort of like fucking incel talking points, okay? But let's be so fucking for real here. Every single person, regardless of gender, is way more likely to be excited about a conversation if you're interested in the other person. Bruh, what the fuck? Like, man. Like, what? Are you... Oh my god. Yeah, because being harassed by attractive guys is so fun. I mean, that's also the case. Some people are just not interested at all, and it depends on the person. But, like, sometimes people are just like, oh, you would act differently if they were attracted. Yeah, people tend to, like, be more open when it's someone they're genuinely interested in. It doesn't have to mean that they're a 6-foot Chad or whatever. It's like when people get upset, it's like, oh my god, girls like hot guys. Don't you like hot girls too? Aren't we all just oogling hot people? To be fucking honest, man. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this isn't gender specific, okay? Everyone can aesthetically appreciate someone who has a sweet blown up cake from squatting for a year. What the fuck? Anyway. I stumble and get awkward no matter who it is if the conversation needs to go beyond a single question response. Men, women, should, yeah. You shouldn't have to defend yourself. This is just chronically online bullshit. Everyone likes hot people. That's how Ooga Booga monkey brain works. There's a reason they have, like, you know, traditionally aesthetically symmetric people on, like, advertising billboards and stuff. Is because it sells better because people oogle it, you know? To be honest, it bothers me how everything changes if it's a hot guy. Like, sure, they're attractive or whatever, but that shouldn't give them an excuse to be jerks. I mean, people also give people passes because they're hot. Halo effects are real, right? And that's also not gender specific, by the way. That goes for everyone. Guys will put up with, like, unhinged shit if the girl is good looking enough. And girls will put up with, like, the most douchebaggy bullshit if the guy is hot enough. Not everyone, but, like, a significant portion of the population. So it's like, that's also not gender specific, you know? That's just like bias. And also maybe it's not so deep. Maybe it's like, oh yeah, this person is insufferable, but they're fucking hot. I can put up with this for a couple hours if I want to get laid. I can totally see people doing that. Like, I don't know. Garlic bread? Aw, hell yeah. Pretty privilege is absolutely real. Of course it's real. Of course it's real. It's super real. Final update. Wow, I figured... Okay, I want to see the comments on this. I'm tired of being forced to be polite and making people uncomfortable, even though there is... Yeah, I mean, just saying, like, no, I'm not interested. Have a good day. Should be enough without having to argue back. Coming from a father, I hope my daughter has the boundaries you do when she's grown. You don't owe anyone your attention. You rock, though. A gym is a public space... Yes, but you're not public property. Okay, that's a bit of a wild formulation. The most anyone ever owes someone is a polite nod to acknowledge the eye contact. You weren't at a meet and greet. You were at the gym. Unfortunately, some people think being outside your home means you want to be their friend. Yeah, and it's also, like I said, hints are usually pretty obvious. Even if they're not, a non-hint is very obvious. Read the final update. Wait, there's a final update? Is this, do you mean this, or is it, like, further up? There's a lot. Oh, final update. Here we go. Wow. While I figure posting this might be a little divisive, I didn't expect to blow up. I went to the gym today and had some of the best workout I had in a long time. Partially because I was fueled by the overwhelming support. Hell yes. For anyone who still thinks I'm the butthole, I can live with that. But before I go, I want to share something that happened to me a couple of months ago. Maybe it'll give you something to chew on. I was at the same gym in the middle of isolated bicep curls. End of the rep, second to last set to failure. I was slowing the movement, fully concentrated, eyes closed. When I opened them, a stranger's face was 3 inches from mine. What? Holy fuck. That's like a jump scare, man. Oh my god. Startled, I set the weight down and looked over to see a plump middle-aged man in a baseball cap. I took one of my headphones, still in shock, and all I could say was, "What the fuck?" Then he grabbed my arm and forced them back onto the machine's handle, saying, "One more!" I pulled away and snapped, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" His face fell as he muttered, "I was just admiring your work." You know, whenever someone says this, I think we can be so fucking for real that he doesn't go up to random 30-year-old dudes and do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? Meh. I told him I'm in the middle of a fucking set. He got defensive, saying, "Actually, I wanted to use that." I replied, "You can use it when I'm not in the middle of a set." He rolled his eyes and walked off. I was left shaking. As I started to put my headphones back in, another man approached and waved. I took it back out, and he said, "You really shouldn't have put up with that." I smiled and said thanks. He walked away. I got back to my set. I mean, at least a bit supportive, but he could have said, like, "Man, that dude was a jerk." I don't know. Now, here's what I'll say. Baseball cap guy was way more out of the line than the guy approached me at the food carts, even by the third time when I finally snapped at him. I reported the incident to the gym manager. They took it seriously, walked through the whole event with me, and I gave the best description I could. Haven't seen that man since. Whether he was banned or just stopped showing up, I don't know. As for the guy from the food carts, he hasn't approached me since. We've been in the same space at the gym a couple of times, but I'm very good at pretending people don't exist during workouts. I appreciate that he respected my boundaries. I see no reason to report him. He just seemed... I mean, food cart boy just seems to be a mildly obnoxious, social person or mildly flirtatious who didn't get the hint, right? Like, that's... Alright, fine. Whatever. The middle-aged boy? He sounds unhinged. Oh my god. Why things keep happening to OP? People can do weird things when out in public, to be fair. And I think also one thing is that a lot of weird people that push boundaries, they push boundaries with everyone, So that one, creepy weirdo has probably done it to 100 people, Yeah, no, so not the butthole, And it's like people that want to make stuff like this so black and white. It's like, you should never approach people in the gym. It's like, no, you can definitely chat with people in the gym. But when they're not interested, that hint is pretty loud. And you should listen to that. So, yeah. Some guys go to the gym instead of therapy. The best combination is both. That's what I did. It's pretty good. Physical activity is great for your health and mental health. But it's not a cure-all. Do both. When you do things, things happen to you, I guess. Yeah. It's like, it's math. If you're exposed to more people, you're also exposed to more weird people. Let's see. Sleep boundaries. I want to see like a butthole. Is there a highly voted butthole story? Or do we have to go to controversial for the truly unhinged shit? Here is one! Am I the butt for asking my sister-in-law to rub sunscreen on my back when I have back acne? I mean, it's short, but it sounds so stupid. I, 31F, have a really bad back acne. I was going to the beach with my mom, 53F, my brother, 28M, and my brother's wife, 26F. I don't know my sister-in-law very well, but she seems very sweet. She had offered to rub sunscreen on my mom. After sister-in-law was finished with my mom, I asked sister-in-law if she can rub sunscreen on my back too. She said she was happy, and she did. But that evening, my brother confronted me. He said his wife had many issues, including social anxiety. He said she has a problem saying no. He said she told him how uncomfortable she felt putting sunscreen on my back. He told me it was inconsiderate of me to ask someone who's not in healthcare to touch deceased skin. Sister-in-law continued being very sweet to me and mom. My brother seemed cold with me and very protective of his wife. Am I the asshole? What? What do you mean? Deceased skin is... It's acne, man. Like, I don't know, man. I guess when life is really good, you just have to make up problems, huh? soft you're the butthole. It's a little weird to ask someone you don't know well to rub sunscreen on your back. But I mean, maybe they do know each other well. I don't know, man. Even if you don't have acne, you may put her in uncomfortable... Are people... is this really such a big fuss putting sunscreen on people? Who gives a fuck? You're frolicking on the beach, getting all sandy and shit in ocean water. What? Where she likely felt obliged to do what you... People of Reddit, sometimes, like... Oftentimes, I find, like, good discussions and comments and stuff on Reddit, right? If it's, like, a confidently incorrect or something, people can chime in with pretty interesting stuff. But on occasion, when I'm reading, like, an r/AmITheButthole thing, it's like, ooh, I asked someone to put sunscreen on me. They said yes. But then later, it turns out they were mildly inconvenienced. Here is my 500-page essay of why this is actually social assault. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, bro, it's like, this isn't even worth fucking bringing up. Even if it's like, I don't know, if someone who I wasn't a big fan of at like a get-together was like, oh, bro, can you put some sunscreen on my back as well when I was in the middle of it? Just be like, yeah. It's who gives a fuck? Oh my god. It's not the OP's fault sister-in-law can't stand up for themselves. Stand up for themselves for what? Dear God, it's sunscreen. Jesus Christ. Their in-laws is just... It's in the just close enough territory. Like a grandma you don't see often rubbing sunscreen on you. I mean, it's family. Like, I have in-laws, you know? And I would be fine giving them sunscreen. They would be fine giving me sunscreen. Bruh. Furthermore, your mom was there. She's someone who is much closer to you. Should have just... Jesus fucking Christ, man. Dissecting the most unnecessary little bullshit problems galore. Here's my 500 essay on why applying sunscreen is actually a social predicament of the 20th century something. Deceased skin. Yeah, that too. My God. Yeah, this is just an unhinged thread. I'd be like, no. She could have said nah. Like, I don't know. It's such a non-issue, man. Oh, one way or another. Bruh. Oh my god. If a random lady asked me to rub sunscreen on her back, because I don't want anyone's sunburn on the back. I mean, I probably wouldn't rub, like, sunscreen on just absolutely random people. But I would certainly give them my sunscreen bottle if they were like, oh, bruh, I forgot sunscreen. Can I get some of yours? Yeah, here you go. You know? This comment section is how I found out sunscreen is flammable. I mean, a lot of people are flammable, but also a lot of people don't play with fire when they're, like, swimming in the ocean, I guess. Am I the butt for telling a girl she's not coming to the bachelorette party because she can't afford it, after she kept changing her mind and having other people speak for her? Everyone sucks. Oh, wedding drama! Ooh, sweet wedding drama, yes! Get spray sunscreen. Don't you still have to kind of smear that out, though? Like, I've had spray sunscreens. It doesn't really apply that evenly or good unless you, like, also smear it, you know? Sister-in-law is 26 and dude is 31. I would have been uncomfortable. What? What do you mean? You would have been uncomfortable to be asked to... I don't know, man. I really don't care. I mean, you can also say no if it's uncomfortable. You know, that's fine. I could rub sunscreen on a friend or, hell, even an acquaintance I barely know. Yeah, to me... maybe it's because I'm Swedish. That kind of stuff was never particularly intimate here. You know? Same thing with nudity. I think, like, in the US, stuff like this might be way more sensitive. Like, nudity here, no one gives a shit. You know? You have people, like, being topless on the beach. Or, you know, just being nude in saunas. Like, at my local gym, when I go to the sauna, people are just nude. You know? It's like, no one cares. Anyway. So yeah, wedding drama. Whoa. I am the maid of honor, planning an 18-girl bachelorette. Hell yeah. In January, I started the group chat and put down $7,000 for the Airbnb. Everyone had until March to pay their $375 share. This week, I sent the rest of the budget, $250 due by August 1st. I mean, that's relatively pricey for like a bachelorette party, but not like unhinged, you know? Then I got a text from a girl we'll call A. Hey, it's A. Didn't realize we were going to have to send money on top of the 375 we sent. I just moved in my first apartment. I don't mind to give at the moment, the next couple of months. Definitely cannot afford it right now. Do you want to just give me the 375 back? Or is there something we can do for me to still go? Let me know, thanks. I mean, that's fair. Sometimes shit happens. I replied, I'll send you the money back. She said, okay, thanks. I mean, I don't know the financial situation of the person planning it, but I would absolutely not care. I would absolutely not care. I'd be like, just send me the 250 when you can. Or just, I don't know, buy me a beer next time we meet. That's my like classic excuse when, you know, I have been generous with something or whatever. And I usually just say, oh yeah, buy me a beer next time we meet. I don't know, man. Anyway. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem to be the kind of amount to cause. I mean, I don't know the financial situation of the person making the post either. But I honestly wouldn't really care. I refunded her, reran the numbers, and updated the group. The next day, I got a text from girl B saying she and A now want to come just for Saturday. A bit frustrating, but I said okay and adjusted the budget again. Yeah, I mean, this is also that kind of thing where it's easy to just put your foot down. It's like, the budget is also for the girl getting married, you know? So it's like, no, don't make it complicated. Imagine coordinating 18 people. That's like D&D planning, but harder. Honestly, I think what we have done, we have a couple of bachelor parties coming up. And one of them has a pretty big group chat. It's like 18 people. It's pretty much exactly the same. But I don't think everyone is going to come. It's like 18 people that are invited. But, you know, people have work, or they are out of vacation days, or they have small kids, or whatever. So I think we're expecting to be like 12. But it's more that kind of thing, you know, if you can make it, you do it. If you can't, meh, see you at the wedding, you know? Later that night, another bridesmaid told me girl C has contacted her to ask me to give A an extension. I've never met A, B, or C, so I was confused. I texted A, I'm honestly confused. You mentioned you couldn't pay and wanted your money back. Then B said you're both coming for Saturday, and now D is asking C about an extension. What is an extension? I totally understand things can change, but each time they do, I have to redo all the numbers, which is a lot to manage. Can you let me know your final decision so I can plan accordingly? I didn't say I wanted my 370 back. I asked if you wanted to give it to me or if there was something we can do for me to still go, because I want to be there for the bride. I didn't ask B to ask you for me. I'm so glad I'm not here. You said no money. Shlabba glabba glabba. Do you want to give the back and do chicka? I don't care who asks who. Care about final decision. Something we can do. No. I said you're not going because you can't afford it. Ooh. Extension. More time to figure out money. Ah. Okay. If I was OP in this situation, I mean, this also depends on like your financial situation and stuff. I'm an old man who has been working for a few years. Number one, I would just give them an extension on the money. That seems to be a very non-issue. Who gives a shit? Number two, don't make adjustments to the budget. You still have to rent the Airbnb for the bride herself. No like joining only one day and only paying half. No complications to the plan. Boom. That's it. They're 18. That's why they sound like high schoolers. But no, they're 18 people. No, I don't think they're 18 years old. That's or maybe they're 18-year-olds, but I doubt it. They're 18 people. An 18-person bachelorette party sounds like hell on earth to me. Oh, man. I mean, it can easily happen, you know? If it's like 2 different friend groups, you know, you have your childhood friends and then your besties from uni or whatever. That can easily amount to like over a dozen people for sure. But, yeah. Man. Keep it simple. Give basic extensions. Who gives a shit? It's a party. It's oh my god. You don't go there to save money, alright? Jesus. Extension equals, can I string you along until after the wedding and then ghost you? I mean, maybe. But it's also like, not a, I don't know. Meh. Click needs to find the mother of the bride who went unhinged at the bridal salon that was caught on camera. She's deserving of a Queen Karen of Order full bingo card. There are a lot of good videos. Yeah, this is just exhausting, man. There's just people who don't know how to manage, people being complicated, weird about... I'm glad I'm not there. Okay, let's see. I want to find another butthole story. They are very entertaining. Everyone sucks poo mode. Am I the butt for telling a lady to put her dog back in the carrier on the airplane? Ooh, I love puppies. I would pet the puppy. I, 35M, had to fly to LA this morning on Delta, and I had an aisle seat. It was a smaller plane with 2 seats per aisle. No TV or movies in the flight, and I wasn't paying for Wi-Fi, so just me and my music. 10 minutes into the flight, a lady, 40s, across the aisle was moving around and trying to get in her personal item. She busts out the dog! In my head, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm not dog-friendly, so I tell the lady firmly, you better put the dog back in the carrier. She says it's cramped in the carrier, and the dog would rather be in her lap. I mean, it's across the aisle. That should be kind of fine. I have no idea what the actual policy is, or whatever, but I don't know, man. Maybe he has a phobia for dogs. I tell her to put it away, or this can be a bigger scene for you. She reluctantly put it away. The rest of the flight, she would baby talk the dog and call me the asshole. Ooh, your man in the aisle is the asshole, isn't he? Ooh, he's the asshole. I complained to the flight attendants after a flight, am I the butthole? It's probably a little chihuahua or whatever the fuck, man. Like, I am not dog friendly. Does that mean you have, like, you know, like a phobia for dogs? Like, even if you're not dog friendly, whatever that means, why are you bothered about, like, some random chihuahua sitting in someone's lap across the aisle? Who cares? What was the point in complaining after the flight? Yeah, that too. Needed to get that inner Karen out, but not so it actually does anything. And she also agreed to put the dog back. Why complain to the flight attendants? She did what you wanted. Everyone sucks because the lady should have kept her dog in the carrier, which is Delta's policy. Okay, so it is a policy. Honestly, I still wouldn't have cared. Personally, I'm like, oh, it's technically policy, but maybe I also get to pet the puppy. So, like, I wouldn't, you know, rat her out, you know? And you better put the dog back in the carrier is just not how you talk to other people when you want them to do something for you out of the gate. Yeah, you know, he could have been pleasant to be like, I'm not comfortable with the puppy. Can you please put it back? Thank you. Everyone is kind of stinky. If I was in this situation, I would just pet the puppy. Because that sounds like a nice thing to, like, you know, kill time with on the flight. Oh my god. People need to, like, be happier and shit. Ooh. Oh, here's another butthole one. I love this. Am I the butt for telling our parents my brother had a child outside of his marriage? Oh, it's a bastard. My name is Jon Snow. There's an army rallying. Wait, I could do a decent voice back in the day. Did I lose it? Jon Snow. Oh, fuck. Maybe I can just do a Gollum voice instead.
She really said, Jon Snow. It's an army rallying in the north. Ah.
For years, my brother, I can do this in Gollum voice.
She really said, for years, my brother's been trying to get into business with my husband. It hasn't worked out for various reasons. We finally had the idea that my husband thought with his ex-wife.
The thing is, before my husband goes into business with anyone, he does an extensive background check on them. That sounds good. Been there, done that, made that mistake. Lady Cat, thank you so much for the 30 months. I am not sure he made my brother aware he was going to do a check or not, but that's how he found out my brother has a daughter outside of his marriage. Gollum and Golem are two different things, I think. Stitch voice? They're pretty similar, to be fair.
Sounds more like Stitch.
Fuck! I had no idea this child existed, and my husband warned me I shouldn't say anything. But I couldn't just not tell my parents, so I told them a few days ago because I'm a gossipy little stinker. They were as shocked as me. They also had no idea she existed, and they immediately confronted my brother about it. Turns out his wife is fully aware, but said she would leave if he tried to include his daughter in the family, which is why neither of them told any of us about her. So is it like an adopted daughter from like some early teenage pregnancy or something? Is that what it is? Or is it like an affair baby? Maybe it's an affair. I don't know. Is it an affair baby, or is it like an adopted teenage pregnancy thing? Your golem almost sounds like Stitch to me. It does, doesn't it? My parents want to meet her and include her in our family, but my sister-in-law is threatening to leave if that happens, so my brother won't give them her mother's contact information. Maybe it's a cheating child. Maybe it's a fair child. Yeah, it sounds like an affair child. They want my husband to find out for them, but he's refusing to get involved. Yeah, I would probably not want to get involved in this either. So everything's a shit show right now. Why did you tell the parents to begin with? Like, if you knew that... Oh, my God. You know, if I was the one who found this out, I'd just be like, okay, you know what? They have already made their decision as the parents and the people in the relationship and stuff. I can agree or disagree, but this isn't really my business, you know? Just causing more drama certainly isn't like the solution. Cheating creates so many problems. Why do people do it? Hormones and shit, I guess. I personally want to meet my niece, so I have told my husband if he doesn't give me the information, I'll ask the friend he used for background checks myself, which has caused multiple fights between us. I wonder what the daughter thinks about this. Can you imagine that? You're just some kid vibing with your mom, minding your business, and unbeknownst to you on the other side of the state, there's an entire extended family that is blowing itself up because they're arguing whether or not they should talk to you or not. And you're just there, vibing, playing with your Legos or whatever. You know? Did he cheat though? Could have been a previous relationship. That's what I mean. Like, it's very unclear if it's, you know, a teenage pregnancy who's adopted, but they did say her mother's contact information. So I'm assuming it's not like an adoption thing. Maybe. Just by the way it's formulated, you know. Not saying adopted parents aren't parents, but it... And also with like how the wife is reacting, I get the feeling it's more of an affair child than an adoption child from like a teenage thing, you know. My brother hates me now and is blaming me for this potential divorce, but I don't think it's fair, as I didn't know my parents would immediately confront him. I did ask them not to. Everyone is an idiot. Everyone is an idiot. So the brother cheated. You brought information to your parents that you knew would probably blow them up, even though you didn't have to do it. The parents blew up and is tearing apart your brother's marriage because they want to meet this adopted child or whatever. And the wife is leaving, which, I mean, makes sense if it's like a fair child, I guess. Man, this is what happens when people don't know how to fucking de-escalate. Oh my god. OP sucks. The other one is probably a cheater. Oh god, man. God, I'm glad I'm not in this family. Dear God. This is why the world will never be at peace, man. This is why wars happen. Because people are fucking dumb. Dear God. You're the butt. You're old enough to be married, and when you found out about your brother's child, you ran to your parents. The only one you should have gone to, unless you didn't want to go to anyone, would be your brother, who's an adult. My husband warned me I shouldn't say anything, but I just could not tell my parents, so I told them, so you can't say you weren't warned. Yeah, exactly, you were actually warned, and you went the gossip train, and now everything is blowing up, so yeah. Yeesh. I didn't know they would confront him, then why not discuss this with the brother first? Exactly. Yeah. Sister-in-law should have divorced or not married him in the first place, depending. Yeah, I guess. Sounds like everyone is just kind of weird in this story, I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad I'm not in the middle of this, man. OP is a brat. OP is definitely a brat. OP is a little gossip brat. But how did the husband do the background check? Via an agency or database? Is it legal for the sister to have access to this and share it with others? Sounds like she breaks the data protection laws. I have no idea. I guess it depends on everything from country to how it's done to blah blah blah. I don't know. No idea. Oh, speaking of crap AI, hell yeah. Do we have more buttholes? I mean, but yay for buttholes. Everyone in this talks too much. They do, right? They're professional yappers. But I think it's because we're clicking on the asshole stories. They are very good at yapping. Am I the butt? I was promised a financial gift from my dad, but he died before I got it. Is my dad the asshole? No. My sisters now say I shouldn't be able to claim it from the estate. okay, so, you know, I was promised the financial... Is it like in the testament or whatever? Because, I mean, if you just say, like, oh, he told me, that doesn't really hold up, you know? It has to be like an actual testament thing, you know? Otherwise, anyone can say anything. I, F30, recently lost my dad. My sisters and I are due to receive some money from Dad's estate. I brought up with my mom that my younger sister, 27, received a financial gift from my dad last year to help her with the cost of driving lessons and the purchase of a car. I was told at the time that I would get the same amount towards the cost of a car when I bought one. My mom told me to raise this with the sisters as they'd both been given financial help from my dad with buying car and I hadn't, due to not having started learning. Oh, so she doesn't actually have a license yet. Okay. I brought this up with them today and asked that I receive the money from the estate. They said it's not their fault that my dad passed away before I learned how to drive, and I don't have any claim to the money I was promised. I mean, I guess you wouldn't actually have gotten the money at this point, even if he was still alive. Because you still don't have the driver's license, I guess. I responded that it was unfair that they had both received the money and that I should be paid out of his estate. They disagreed and said that I couldn't make claims to be owed this, with my older sister 35 saying that as she learned to drive when she was 17, it was ridiculous to even bring this up. My sister was given a car and driving lessons as a gift when she turned 17. However, 5 years later, when I turned 17, my family was in financial difficulty and couldn't afford the same for me, and also I didn't learn. I went off to university, moved abroad, moved back to the UK, living in a big city, always used public transport, driving wasn't a prayer. Holy fucking yapping, Batman! As I get older, I want to learn when I have kids, hopefully next 5 years. This disagreement led to a huge argument, and my older sister storming off and calling me names. This is quite obvious to me, but there are very different opinions causing rifts in our relationship. Right? You're a yapper! You're a yapper! Can't put a price tag on a car you don't already own. I mean, that too. Even if... That's kind of what I said. Even if he was still alive, you wouldn't actually have gotten the money yet, because you haven't done the thing that, you know, was kind of the predecessor to it. You're the butthole. They said that it's not their fault that my dad passed away before I started to learn how to drive, and I don't have any claim to the money I was promised. That's right. Ma'am, you're 30. The fuck were you waiting for? I responded that it was unfair they both had received the money and I should be paid of his estate. No, it's unfair your dad never updated his will to reflect... Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, you know, just handshake stuff falls through when someone, you know, literally dies. Unless it's in a will or whatever, there isn't really much to go on. I sort of get OP's position, I guess, but still the butthole for how she went about it, especially since she seems to care more about money than about her dad dying. Yeah, right? It's very, like, very cold, isn't it? And also, I would imagine, if they're talking about estates and stuff, I imagine there is more inheritance and stuff than just, like, you know, paying for some driver lessons or whatever, right? Like... I don't know, it seems... I don't know what the rest of the will looks like, because she hasn't shared any relevant details about literally anything, but it seems very cold and weird, and also it seems very petty about something that is probably relatively tiny. Like what, you paid for driving lessons and a used car? Like, I don't know, man. I think... I had a used car a few years ago. I mean, obviously the car I have now is also used, but that I sold, and I sold it for like $2,000. Driving lessons... I mean, if you do it efficiently and practice drive a bit with a partner or family, you can do that for a couple of $1,000 as well. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, sure, it's nice, but it's not like an insane amount of cash. It would, like... And you're also 30, you know? My car was $2,000. Yeah, I think I sold one of my old cars that the first car I actually had for less than that. It was like $1,300. But it was a few years ago, so it's probably about $2,000 in current day money. My family didn't survive my mother's passing. Changed the whole trajectory of all our lives. Oh, because people were like arguing and stuff? Or... It's sad that money is the main thing for these people. When just someone close to you dies, so sad. Yeah, and it's also like petty stuff, you know? It doesn't even sound like they're arguing about, like, you know, literally life-saving stuff. You know, one person gets the family house, and I can see that, like, blowing up stuff. But this is, like, petty. It's like, oh, I didn't get driver lessons. Bruh. Plus, if it was a gift from your dad, once he's not there, you're basically asking a gift from your sisters. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. As my parents' estate executor, I legally cannot honor promises like that when dispersing estate funds. My hands are tied by the directives they leave behind, and I'm legally obliged to follow them. I don't have a choice, I have a duty. Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. If it's not legally binding, and it didn't update anything, then it's like, meh. You haven't learned how to drive and you're 30, I'm sorry, that ship has sailed. Adding, since many people are triggered by the driving thing, I didn't mean the driving thing, I meant having your parents pay for your crap. Once you're over 18, no one owes you anything, not even inheritance. Yeah, I think like, I don't know, learning how to drive earlier or later in life, meh. Stuff can happen, or you can't afford it, or some people don't have parents that can help them get the driver's license when they're younger and stuff. Like, things can happen. I don't think that's the biggest thing ever. And some people just hate driving also, or you have something like epilepsy maybe, so you can't drive. But also being this entitled about it, but then obviously it's not a priority. Like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like you prioritized in the least to be bothered to, get a license so you'll be given a car or whatever. So, meh. It just sounds like something you were never planning to cash in, but now it's like your sister's problem to pay you. You know what I mean? Like, meh. I'm 30 and don't drive it. Circumstances and disabilities make that difficult. Yeah, exactly. Stuff can happen. I don't think like being 30 and not having a license is the main critique. I think it's like, I don't know, being expected something you haven't even reached a benchmark for and now expecting your other family to pay for it. That's a bit entitled. Fair enough, past the 27 it happens, yeah. I have friends that got it later in life as well. It can happen. Or it's not a priority, or you live in a place where you don't have it, or your family maybe don't have a car that you can practice drive with, or whatever it might be. Yeah, nah. It seems just weirdly entitled. Do we have any more stuff? No buttholes here. Oh my god. No buttholes. In Germany, there is a law that you can put into account where one or more siblings got presents a certain amount up, if you can prove it. Not sure how long ago that can be, but it's not reasonable. Yeah, I guess it depends on the law in the country, if you can prove that it's an individual gift ahead of time, and I don't know. Meh. I'm not a lawyer, and I guess it also depends a lot on the country. Camilla, thank you so much for 5 years of memberships. Hell yeah. Am I the butt for telling my friend I can't stand her daughter? Ooh, family drama. Ooh. This one, the OP is actually not the butthole, so maybe this one is written, like, coherently. What a treat! Oh, yes, indeed. I don't have any children of my own, but one of my best friends has a son of her own and adopted her niece at birth 17 years ago as a young mom. My friend did a great job raising her children. At some point worked 3 jobs to ensure her children got everything they could ask for, which included buying each of them a PS5 so they wouldn't have to share. Oh my god. You have 2 PS5s in the household? Man, I remember back in the day we had 1 GameCube on an old fat screen. I have always applauded her for spoiling her kids and providing a luxury of life for them all on her own. Yeah, that's pretty commendable from the parents' part, actually. Now, here's where things got sour. Her adopted daughter fell off the handles and stole her car and purse, which she didn't have a license to drive. She didn't call the police on her, and, which I get it, you don't want to get your child arrested. Her daughter ended up leaving to live with her biological mom, my friend's sister. 2 PS5s? Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Back in my days, we had 1 board game. Hell yeah. While in her case, she had no rules, never went to school, and ended up preggo. We all gathered around to help in any way we could for this baby. My friend even threw a massive baby shower, and we all put a lot of effort in making it fun. Well, my friend's daughter showed up, but spent most of the party outside passing joints around. Oh wait, so it's the daughter ended up pregnant. Okay, I was a bit confused there for a sec. Holy shit. Then when she was back at the party didn't appreciate all the people who helped put on the baby shower, but made a big speech thanking her mom, her biological mom, while referring to my friend, the one who raised her, as her first name. Oh my god, what a little piece of shit, man. What a little piece of shit. I could not imagine not treating an adoptive parent as not being a parent. You know? She was smoking while pregnant. Baby shower. Yeah, you do a baby shower before it's born, right? Passing joints are... That's weird, right? It was terrible to see my friend treated awful, but my friend still continued to provide everything to her daughter and bought 2 of everything so the baby would have everything at my friend's house and baby's home. I'm starting to get like AI vibes from this. Am I the only one? I'm getting some low-key AI vibes. The fact that no one is like noticing that she's smoking while pregnant. Am I the only one getting AI vibes from this? I'm getting low-key AI vibes. Right? I don't think this is real. What is this profile? The father was guilty of beating the baby and took a deal with police to give information relating to a massive drug bust. The mother was found not guilty but did jail time for an attempt to... What the fuck? 4 years ago. The profile is kind of old though. But like the post feels ChatGPT. Maybe it's not a bot profile, but the story gives me GPT vibes. It gives me GPT vibes, man. Low-key AI, but there are people out there stupid enough to smoke while pregnant. Yeah. The reason I believe it's AI isn't that, you know, someone being stupid and smoking while pregnant isn't unheard of. There certainly are people that do. But it's that no one else is reacting to it. Like, you literally have an entire baby shower, and the pregnant mom just lights up a joint, and no one bats an eye? Really? Like, that's what makes me, you know, kind of like, this isn't written by someone who has a human perspective, right? 4-year-old profile, definitely not about, maybe it was hacked or ChatGPT story. But yeah, that's wild. The fact that no one reacts to it at a baby shower. It's like, can you imagine going to a baby shower and like the mom just like lights up, completely pregnant with all like the cutesy gifts and shit. Maybe she's selling the joints at their baby shower. Holy fuck. Bought for high karma? No. 1000 karma. Most of, like, all of it is from this story. It's actually gone negative on some other stuff. Probably got caught smoking once. OP exaggerated. You think so? Maybe. The baby arrived and everything was sugar sweet. My friend was by her daughter's side to help with the baby, and back to being referred to as mom by her daughter. It was nice for a month. When the baby was a month old, my friend's daughter was already trying to pawn off the baby to go back to partying and getting in trouble. How do I know this? She moved into my mom's neighbor. It's also like weirdly written. How do I know this? No question mark, but a comma. I mean, could also be like English not first language, I suppose, but it's weirdly written, isn't it? It's weird. It's not just grammatical errors. It's weird. How do I know this? She moved into my mom's neighborhood and also was posting to her Snapchat, not realizing I wasn't blocked from seeing it. I mentioned it to my friend, and she was living in denial. It got to the point where the daughter was posting, airing out her baby daddy drama to the internet and asking for drugs, parties, and even posted that her friends called a bomb threat to a school and mall, laughing about it. At that point, I removed her from my social media. Here's where might be the butthole. My friend wanted to throw her daughter a big party to celebrate her 18th, talking about themes and gifts, and wanting to make it very elaborate. I thought about what I wanted to say, and settled on advising I wasn't going to come because I couldn't stomach watching her daughter disrespect her, and that I really can't stand being around her after how she's been acting. I wished her a great party and hoped her daughter appreciated throwing a party. My friend hasn't spoken to me now in 2 months, which makes me think I'm the asshole. I mean, I guess you can express your concerns about the crappy daughter without, like, ditching your friend, you know? But I don't think you're the asshole, necessarily, but, you know. It's fake. Yeah. Think I am the asshole. Yeah. This is capital. Oh, yeah, this is so fucking AI. Why is this in capital? Right? Makes me think I am the asshole. Hey, ChatGPT, write me a story for r/am I the asshole. And make sure to smash the title into the text somewhere. This is so fucking GPT'd, man. This is such a GPT story. Bots have no butthole. Yeah, I thought it had a few weird quirks, but yeah. When there's that many quirks in that way, definitely I am. Let's see. Not enough info. Okay. Oh, it's a short one. This is kind of interesting. Maybe we can teach people a lesson about context. My ex's son is angry I didn't go to his wedding after the split. Oh, you didn't go to the son's wedding. Oh, that's not bad. That's not good. My 44F ex-fiancé, 48M, cheated on me just over a year ago. We were both a second relationship, and each of us brought kids into the relationship. His eldest son, 28M, never lived with us, and he was an adult by the time I came into the picture. Okay, but then you're not really like a parent, you know? It's like, yeah, nah, that's not a parent, you know? That's one of your parents' new partner. It's not a parent to you, you know? You can still vibe with them, but you never grew up with them. They were never a parental figure to you. Which is fine, it's just a very different relationship, you know? I caught my ex cheating on June 15th, and his son was set to get married on June 29th. That's fucking tight, man. The same year? Is it the same year? But didn't say, like, cheated on me just over a year ago. But here it's saying, like, it's just a couple of weeks apart. Or do you mean, like, June next year? Okay, anyway. To say that this broke me is an understatement. He cheated with my best friends, which is what made things even more traumatic. His son still wanted me to come to the wedding, but I did not think I could go and be around everyone with their stares and whispers. I mean, the son is sweet for still inviting and be like, of course you should come, I like you. But it's also fine to just be like, nah, I just need some time to myself, I'm sorry. You know, I think both are fine. I thanked him and told him how sorry I was, but that I did not want to make their special day all about the gossip about the breakup. I also explained that I did not think I was strong enough to be there. His son is angry with me for not coming. I understand that parents put their kids first, but in my opinion, that is what I did. Having me on the verge of tears and falling apart would have ruined everything. Am I the butt? I do regret not being strong enough to just suck it up and go, so maybe I'm the asshole. Meh. That's the dad's GF? Wait, what? Okay. It's written weirdly. It's very confusing, but info. How many fiancés did you have last year? Just 1 year you posted, me 44F my fiancé, and now you got me ex-fiancé 48M. Ooh! I changed some of the less important details just in case anyone might connect dots. The story is still... Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense, though. Like, scrambling some small personal details, that makes perfect sense for just anonymity, so that doesn't necessarily mean everything is fake. That's fair. His son should be angry with his dad and not you. Yeah, it just sounds like the anger is misguided. Like, you know, it's the dad that messed up the family relationships, not her. It's fine that she wants some distance. Your ex's son lacks empathy for what you're going through? Yeah, that too. No, not the butthole. I'm not sure why there isn't enough info, but that just sounds like it's a crappy situation. Cheating ain't good, man. It's 20 days ago, so before June 29. Guess that wedding was a year ago. Ah, maybe that's what it is, yeah. Maybe that's what it means. I believe the reasoning for not going reasonable. Yeah, I could totally see myself wanting to stay clear of that stuff. Like, I wouldn't want to be stuck at a wedding when that kind of stuff is like fresh cuts, you know? That doesn't sound very nice. So no, I wouldn't be mad at OP for it. I would be mad at the person cheating and causing the situation to begin with. Like that's the person who did a bad. I don't worry too much about whether or not a story is real. I just think my way through the presented situation and file that away in case a similar situation comes up in my life. I mean, yeah, you can talk about situations in the general sense, of course, but sometimes they get a bit ridiculous. Like, you know, oh, the pregnant teenage daughter is smoking at her baby shower and no one cares about the mom smoking. It's okay, but it gets a bit silly, you know? It gets very silly. Speaking of silly, it is getting a little bit late, and I desperately need my beauty sleep, and so do you, even if it's like 2 in the afternoon. Napping is good as well. Thank you all so much for vibing with me here today. It was fun doing a stream, haven't done one in a while, and I do hope you want to show up for the next streams as well. Have an amazing rest of the day and time as you live, and I will see you very soon. Take care.